Well, what's the story, boys? Nobody will watch my videos anymore unless I throw my Galway accent on really heavy. Just joking, guys. I don't actually speak like that, so I can't speak like that. But I will say one thing to the haters on my last Gript video that, you know, talking about my accent or whatever. That's all good. I'm going to stay over here winning while you're going to stay over there complete nobody. Just, you know, making nobody comments on a channel, guys. But we're back again, guys. I'm super excited. We're back in with some more Gript media. This one basically is a video put out a few years ago, and it was basically in relation, if I remember correctly, to when Ashley Murphy, it was right around that time when Ashley Murphy got murdered, and there's a big kind of GoFundMe page now where Conor McGregor donated like €25,000 to the fund to kind of help the families and, you know, against the bereavement of Ashley Murphy and different things like that, guys. So this one's really interesting, guys. Another Gript article, because I reacted to the last one where he caught out Leo Varadkar really well, guys. He absolutely caught him out, like smoked him, guys. But that was one thing. This one is a completely different topic. This is why Ireland should legalize pepper spray. So again, we got Gript. We got Ben Scallon, who is the kind of like presenter for this news media outlet, okay, or channel, or news media. So the description says, with violent crime surging across the country, it may be finally time to arm Ireland to have a conversation about legalizing tools like pepper spray for self-defense. Now, we all know, guys, that things like, you know, women taking self-defense classes doesn't work. You know, it does to an extent, but really I would work on running and trying to legalize some stuff like this, guys. You know, honestly, sometimes pepper spray doesn't even work, guys. So I'm trying to kind of be more for legalizing more stuff for self-defense. But we're going to talk about that soon. Drop a comment down below. Much love. The last video got a ton of Irish people, a ton of English people watching as well, British people. So I appreciate the support, and let's get it.
With violent crime surging across the country, it may finally be time for Ireland to have a conversation about legalising tools like pepper spray for self-defence. This is Ben Scallon and you're watching Gript Media. It's well established by now that the country is going down the tubes big time in terms of violent crime. Sure, most crimes fell sharply in 2020 from the previous year. That's true in the past 12 or so months. But I think we can safely assume that was almost entirely because of the lockdown. For example, it's kind of hard to burgle someone's house when they never leave it because they're quarantined at home. It's also difficult to attack people on a night out when all the pubs are closed and nobody's been in town for the better part of a year.
That's very true. A lot of crime, especially in Ireland, is based on nights out, guys, like random fights and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, very true, guys. Great reporting.
We're guarded checkpoints every 5 meters checking for non-essential journeys and the like. These are not exactly the best conditions to engage in dodgy criminal activity. So we've gotten a little break from the crime wave, but the last couple of years were an exception, not the rule. The rule for the past while has been a huge surge in crime on our streets, particularly violent crime and sex crime for years. Even with the lockdown, more than 1/3 of all Garda stations experienced a rise in the crime rate in 2020. Now, there are obviously long-term solutions needed here, which we've discussed before and we will discuss again. But one immediate thing that can be done to make a world of difference, particularly for vulnerable young women, is the legalization of some basic self-defense tools. You know, there are probably some people watching this video who are hearing this for the first time, but in Ireland, even something as simple as pepper spray or a taser is illegal under the Firearms Act. As reported in 2018, no plans to legalise pepper spray or tasers in Ireland.
Yeah, it's pretty sad because if you go to anywhere, Czech Republic, Poland, you know, Slovakia, Lithuania, all these different Eastern European countries, even some Western and middle European countries, Central European countries, everything is legalized. You can buy anything. You can just walk into your local, like, shopping center and you can just buy pepper spray. You can buy all that kind of stuff. So it's really sad that we can't have anything here to defend ourselves. So basically, your life is kind of in the hands of the criminals, guys. Your victim, you know, your victimhood basically is in the hand of criminals, if that makes sense. I made a video like this about 2 years ago at the same time they put out this article, but I said I'd react to this as well because I've never actually watched this video. So yeah, really good, guys.
The government has no plans to legalise pepper spray or tasers, which can be used as self-defence tools. Justice Minister Charlie Flanagan told the Dáil last week that those tools are considered prohibited under the Firearms Act of 1925.
And also, I don't really like the way they're just saying no, that's not going to happen. So what do? We need like a solution. I don't want just words, guys. There's too many words in this country. We need to like actually bring in solutions and actually act now. Let's put all the speaking aside. Let's act now. People are being murdered. Women are being murdered. We need to actually act on now. How can we prevent this, guys? How can we prevent this? Let's not just keep talking, guys. I don't like this. It's ridiculous.
In response to a query from independent TD Michael Fitzmaurice. A prohibited weapon is defined as a firearm under the same Act, and accordingly the restrictions that apply to firearms in the Firearms Act apply to pepper sprays and electroshock weapons. I have no plans to amend these provisions. In an interview with the journal.ie, Fitzmaurice had said that people should be allowed to use whatever means necessary to protect their homes, including pepper spray and tasers. I am a firm believer that if someone comes into your house in the middle of the night, they are not coming in for a cup of tea, and whatever you have to take them on with, I wouldn't have any sympathy for them. Very well.
That's very true, guys. Like, let's just be real. If someone comes to your house to try and kill your parents or your mom or your brother or something, bro, that's just an insane scenario.
Said Michael Fitzmaurice. I couldn't agree more. The Roscommon Galway TD said Dublin and rural Ireland could not be policed in the same way. I see people, when it gets dark at night, locking their doors, locking. They are afraid to let anyone in. It is a big issue around the country. And this, of course, is very true. Whatever about the city, where everyone is piled in on top of each other and the Gardaí usually aren't too far away at any given moment, what does a person do who's out in the middle of nowhere and the Garda station isn't for miles? Someone's breaking into my home to attack my family, but let me wait an hour for the police to arrive as I sit here with my thumb up my arse. It's not really...
And also, guys, if they have knives or if they have any sort of tool apart from, you know, a sledgehammer or whatever they're coming in, you're gonna die, guys. Like, the guards don't even have guns, you know, especially if you just call them up and like, hey, like, can we get like some guards down here, police, whatever. They're like, okay, we're gonna come to your house, but what do they have? Like, you don't know. They're just there to attack you or whatever. Does that not make... It's just crazy. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, they can't defend against knives. They're gonna get stabbed then. Oh, it's really crazy, man. It's crazy.
A viable strategy, is it? And the same can apply in the city. As the old saying goes, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. If, God forbid, a young girl is accosted in an alleyway by a group of thugs, what is she supposed to do exactly? Take out her phone and call the police right in front of them? It's totally unworkable. And yet the authorities are totally and utterly opposed to private citizens having the means to protect themselves from criminals, even when the police can't.
Yeah, it's really sad, guys, because like in every other country in the world, like the US, we always follow everything they do in the US. Like, they allow their citizens to have everything. Like, are we somehow not as good as the US? Are we somehow, you know, not capable, as much capable? I think we're just as capable, if not smarter than a lot of Americans. You know, I love my Americans, but I'm saying, like, that's my viewers that watch the channel. But it's like, we're just as capable as them to do the same things to defend ourselves. The exact same. There's no difference between us and them. You know, very strange, man. I don't know how we just do that here. It's really weird.
It makes not one iota of sense, and policies like this have already had outrageous consequences in other countries such as Denmark. Danish teen fought off her attacker, now she'll face a fine. A 17-year-old girl who was physically and sexually attacked in Sønderborg will herself face charges for using pepper spray to fend off her assailant. The teenager told police that she was attacked in central Sønderborg on Wednesday at around 10 p.m. by a dark-skinned English-speaking man. She said that the man had knocked her to the ground and then unbuttoned her pants and attempted to undress her. The girl was able to save herself from further assault by using pepper spray on the attacker, but now she may be the one who ends up in legal trouble.
That's okay though. I will say this, guys. What's that age-old saying? I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You know what I mean? You got to be able to basically defend yourself. Even if something happens to the attacker, that's okay. You still have your life, guys. The guy... Whatever happens to him, there's no real sympathy for that guy because he's the one putting something on you. I've never thought in my entire life to go out of my way to physically assault or kill someone or sexually assault, do some crazy shit. So why now should I face charges for something that this guy's trying to do to me? It's absolutely ridiculous, man. This is just the most insane thing in the world.
It is illegal to possess and use pepper spray, so she will likely be charged for that, local police spokesperson Knud Kirsten told TV Sid. The man who attacked the 17-year-old fled from the scene and has not been charged. So I guess according to Danish police, the correct response here was to just get raped.
Yeah.
We're not going to defend you, but you can't defend yourself either. Is that the rule? And by the way...
What are you supposed to do, guys? If women can't... I know people, they said there was a massive rise in self-defense lessons after the Ashley Murphy type thing. But guys, that's not, it doesn't work, guys. If anyone that's done any martial arts for longer than 6 months would know, and even 3 days, because I did judo for a very long time, and after about few sessions of doing it with men and women, you kind of understand that there's just no chance, guys. You're screwed, like, if you're a woman. So they're basically just letting them just die now. So that's the government for you guys. So just allow it now. It's crazy, man.
This was just a few years ago, but do you remember hearing any of the so-called feminists kick up a big stink about this outrageous story at the time? Because I certainly don't, especially considering Ireland has the same laws as Denmark in this area and has a growing rate of sex crime. I guess they're too busy complaining about how traditional Irish music is misogynistic or some other such inane nonsense. Closer to home, we've seen similar madness just last year. Builder working in dodgy areas kept a pepper spray can. A builder caught with pepper spray on him when he was searched by Gardaí had it for his protection while he was working in dodgy areas of Dublin, a court has heard. Piotr Lastowski, 44, had a canister.
He's a Polish guy, guys. Anyone with ski and that kind of thing, Polish. And, that's legal in Poland. So, like, it should be like a European Union rule where, like, it's legal in the whole of Europe, or else it's not. We have the euro, we have all these different things that we're supposed to have in the European Union. Why is it now not legal requirements? Why are they only legal on some things but not on other things?
Of the spray in his possession when Gardaí searched a car in the west of the city. The case was struck out, leaving the accused without a criminal record after he made a €200 donation to a Garda charity.
That's not really being arrested, though. That's kind of a lenient. I'm sure the Gardaí wouldn't even disagree with that.
Lastowski, a father of two of Park Boulevard, Tyrrellstown, pleaded guilty to unlawful possession of a canister of pepper spray at Dunsink Lane, Castleknock. The accused had no previous convictions, the court heard. Lastowski had been living in Ireland for the past 12 years, had worked in construction and had never come to the attention of Gardaí before, his solicitor John Wood said. He was now planning to move back to Poland. So this guy is a dad, a migrant, a working man with no criminal record or involvement in illicit activities, paying his own way in the world, and for the heinous crime of wanting to protect himself and ensure that he got home safely to his family at the end of the workday, the Irish state are harassing him.
It's really sad, guys. Like, in Ireland, my whole life, they kind of look at stuff like self-defense as like, oh, you're trying to be like American. They try and make you feel like this is like the stupidity of some people here. They try and basically make you feel like you're like scared, or like you're kind of like a loser, or you're like you're like not the majority of society. But the thing is, guys, like, now we're seeing people getting murdered just randomly, like Ashley Murphy. We're seeing all these people getting killed just randomly. So who now looks stupid? The people that were saying, no, we don't need this self-defense stuff, or sure, that's like only in like these other parts of the world. Like, dude, anything that happens anywhere else in the world can happen here. Like, you understand that? That's not like, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy the way people talk.